Change is inevitable, but is it always for the better? Throughout the last few decades, one of America's most beloved holidays, Christmas, has been warped beyond its former religious nature. So, this clash between old Thomas traditions and New Age secularism continues. Good morning, my name is Jorge Vargas.
I'm Gabriela Monsanto.
I'm Caitlin Tran.
And I'm Sarah Berlin. Like Jorge said, since the late 1800s, Christmas has undergone a major transformation. Typically nowadays, when you think of Christmas, you think of Santa Claus, ugly sweaters, and how many gifts you're going to be buying for each other. However, traditionally, Christmas is a Christian holiday that celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ. And while gift-giving was a practice, it wasn't nearly as big as a focus as it is now. However, Christmas became an integral part of American culture when it became a federally recognized holiday on June 26, 1870. And with the changing of the 1900s and the introduction of consumerism, capitalism, and commercialism, Christmas began to change.
And this change that Sarah's talking about can be seen everywhere. It's practically inescapable when December rolls around in America. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, the majority of you have probably heard something along the lines of, "It's the holiday season at the International Diamond Center. Come in, choose your own diamond, get 50% off, but only before January 1st. And according to Ron Scherer's article, Families Slow Gift Buying, Boost Holiday Quality Time, the average American family spends $500 every single year on buying gifts for their family. Isn't that insane? So, with the over-commercialization of Christmas, has its true meaning been muddled? In this time of ever-changing things, can the old and new coexist, or can only one Christmas prevail?
So what should we do about this? Could we separate the commercial aspect from the religious aspect?
Now hang on, Gabby. Didn't you hear what Caitlin mentioned? The average American family spends about $500 a year on Christmas gifts. You know, just last season, according to the National Retail Foundation, there was a 4% increase in retail sales. The economy booms this time of year because of this connection to Christmas. So why not continue egging people to buy, and buy?
Does this help the economy? Does this help the economy? Well, according to Pew Research Center, of 2001 Americans in 2013, proposed a question, what do people hate the most? Well, 33% said that they hated commercialism, 22% said the money that they spent, and 10% said the shopping. Yes, this helps the economy, but what about the consumers? People are more important than the money that they spend.
And of course, we'd have to take into consideration what role the government would play in this. According to the very first amendment of the U.S. Constitution, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So what implications would a solely Christian federal holiday have, especially on the input of government on religious affairs?
Well, Caitlin, this issue has actually been debated in a few Supreme Court cases, namely the Supreme Court case in 1984. The Lynch versus Donnelly court case debated whether or not a nativity scene, also known as a crèche, could remain in a shopping center in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. This could be seen as government endorsement of Christianity, which is unconstitutional and unfair to minor religions. However, they ruled that the nativity scene could remain because there were also non-religious and secular items present. This shows that Christmas has evolved to be more than simply a religious celebration, and it has incorporated the culture within it. But this adaptation isn't just a new thing. This can actually be seen in its very origins. According to the University of Utah, Professor Russell Belk, Christmas is celebrated in December because of its correlation with a number of pagan winter festivals, such as the Teutonic Yule and the Roman Saturnalia. This would have increased people's acceptance of Christianity during that early time. But despite all its adaptations and changes through the times, its universal message of love and peace still prevails.
So you're saying, Sarah, that Christmas is like one of Darwin's finches from the Galapagos. It's adapted to survive? Well, what about one of its more distinct adaptations that's come up in recent years? The horn of the rhino, or tentacles on a squid. I'm talking about the jolly old man himself, Santa Claus. According to a poll by the Pew Research Center in 2013, 7 out of 10 family households lie about Santa Claus coming to town. Why are a majority of parents lying to their own children, creating distrust between one of the most fundamental relationships in human society. Why are we pressuring our parents to lie and buy gifts for their children?
Yes, Santa is a lie, but he teaches children discipline and imagination. This picture is a perfect example of the clash between the religious and commercial side of Christmas. According to Jacqueline Woolley, in her article, Why the Whole Family Benefits When Kids Believe in Santa, states that believing in these impossible beings brings outside-the-box thinking. She also says that this kind of thinking engages the border between what is possible and what is impossible. It is at the root of all scientific discoveries and inventions from airplanes to the internet. So what's so wrong with teaching our children morals and creativity?
It seems as though the best way to save Christmas is to leave it up to the people themselves to decide. Yes, you might be spending $500 a year on Christmas gifts, but where are these gifts going to? The people that you love. According to a poll taken by the National Retail Foundation, above attending a religious service and giving and opening gifts, 80% of the people spend time with family and friends. When you think back on your own memories on Christmas, you might remember the magic of Santa, or the joy of receiving gifts, or something funny that your uncle did while he had too much eggnog. Overall, Christmas is a holiday that should bring people together in love, and not spread them apart by opinion.
In the end, we have not lost the meaning of Christmas. It's not about buying gifts or attending Mass. It's about spending this special day with the people that you love. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Let me go through and ask questions again. I'll go, play the dance. You guys all know the dance that we've gone on. So, let's see. Sarah, reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem that your group identified?
I would probably say that it was Caitlin's, because my original solution would be to separate it, which we actually used as a counterpoint, because Caitlin's solution was to keep it as it is, because she brought up a lot of points, especially the economic ones, about how much money, and that would cause a lot of problems socially and economically. So we decided that that would be our solution, so that changed kind of my understanding of the problem and the solution.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, in what ways did you improve your ability to work with a group as a result of this project?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. In what ways did you improve your ability to work with a group as a result of this project?
Well, in ways that I improved was that originally myself, I don't really have an open mind to, this topic. And the more that we came together and the more that we talked about it, they gave me suggestions that I wouldn't have thought of myself. So that had an impact.
Okay. Jorge, what's an example of a compelling argument that one of your peers' individual reports that you decided to exclude from your team presentation?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. What was something that from one of everyone's individual reports that you decided not to include in the presentation?
Well, maybe a lot of Gabriela's individual work deciding on the psychological facts about Christmas, we decided to exclude some of them because they could act as more counter arguments, and we decided to choose the more important one.
Okay. And save the best for last. Let's see. Describe how your content of the team presentation was changed as a result of the discussions that you guys had as a group.
The entire team presentation was actually mainly based off of my paper. But with Sarah's input on the historical background on Christmas and everything, I began to see like a different solution pop up. Because my original solution was Christmas shouldn't be changed, shouldn't be hated because of this commercial change, because I had the economic lens. But Sarah's historical lens on how Christmas has changed over time made me realize that Christmas is an adaptable holiday. It's one of literally Darwin's finches.
Okay, cool, thank you.